scene. I can give you what you want, but you got to go home with me. I forgot some good old love, and then I got some in store. When I get through throwing it on you, you got to come back for more. Boys and things will come by the dozen. That ain't nothing but drugstore loving. Pretty little thing, let me light your count, cause mama, I'm sure hard to handle now, yes around. Action speaks louder than word, and I'm a man with a great experience. I know you got you another man, but I can love you better than him. Take my hand, don't be afraid, I wanna prove every word I say. I'm advertising love for free.
Quite a nice place. You know, something I've been learning in the last few weeks, honestly, was that it's easy to take for granted that sometimes you're so reliant on technology when things go haywire that you have no idea what you're going to be doing and you try to improvise new projects. And that's kind of what happened to me, because I did have some issues with my microphone like earlier in the last month, and I was thinking I got to get a replacement eventually. But then looking at some of the available funds that I had, I realized I could just get the same one, or I could just go for something a little bit more pricey, but that might last longer and be more convenient. So I'm actually getting into the world of wireless microphones. So that means it's going to open up a whole bunch of new territory for me for every video I'm going to be doing down the road. On that note, welcome to another edition of the Wannernuki Cheese Cafe. You know, honestly, it's also hard to believe just how quickly time flew by. It feels like that 2024 just started yesterday or a week ago, and here we are already getting to the middle of March. And as I'm recording this is going to be the very last day before we move the clocks 1 hour forward. Yep, here in Canada we still follow daylight savings. Not much you can do about it. I'm going to be losing an hour of sleep, but small price to pay to get a little bit of extra daylight. It is what it is. Oh yeah, you're probably wondering where I am. So this place I'm at is called Projet Pilote, which in French it means a pilot project. It's a microbrewery. It's around the Rachel Street East that passed by before. I feel like it was given to me as a recommendation a couple of years ago, and I had yet to visit it, mostly because shortly after I was given that recommendation that another wave of the pandemic had hit and everything was closed once again. So I wasn't able to do anything until now. And it's kind of familiar territory because just across the street from here is the Pit Caribou pub that I visited back in, oh yeah, I captured on video last year in April when I was on vacation. If you want to see that, I'm going to put a card in the top right corner for you to watch it. Then you'll be able to revisit when I did that. And I went to La Chop Angus over in Rosemont. It's good stuff. And it's another spot that they make all their brews like on the site, and there's some stuff I've never seen anywhere like this one. It's a cold hop Pilsner, which I ordered for the name because it's actually called Robert l'Éponge. Yeah, Robert l'Éponge, that's French for Robert the Sponge. So in case you don't get the joke, it's basically, this thing is named after Spongebob SquarePants. So essentially this is the extract if you're to drink Spongebob. So cheers to him and his ridiculous laugh. Delicious. And it's also very light too. Like you're looking at, I think I saw it was 4.7%. So it's not the end of the world if you want to do one. It is a little bit hoppy, a little bit fruity. So that's something to keep in mind. If you're not a fan of IPAs, you may not want to touch this one. Once again, not too bad. There's actually a few other spots around here on Rachel Street that have caught my eye before. Multiple coffee shops. I did see there's a bakery called Promenade de Sèvres or something like that. That I kind of knew because I saw one on Beaubien Street East, close to where my grandmother used to live, like around the Saint Michel area. I didn't realize there was one down here in the Plateau. I always thought it was like a Rosemont thing. If I was to go a little bit further east from here, I would get to La Fontaine Park, like one of the largest largest parks around the island. There's also La Banquise. La Banquise is known because it's a poutine specialty restaurant that apparently is supposed to be open 24 hours a day. I don't know if it's still that same schedule with post-pandemic world, but there's always a lineup of people getting in there. Almost the same way that you would have people lining up to go get a smoked meat sandwich at Schwartz's. I may want to go check it out one day, but do I really want to wait in line over there for poutine? Because let's face it, in Montreal, poutine is king, or at least one of the kings, because you could find a whole bunch of poutine specialty shops around here that are probably just as good without having to wait for it. We'll see. One of these days I might cover it. But when I was a kid, I think I remember Rachel Street was just one of those streets that we passed by on drives with my dad to go get to my grandmother's up in Rosemont. So I don't think I remember exploring this too much growing up. It's only in the last couple of years I've really started to pay attention to my surroundings on this spot and realize that there's some good places to go grab a drink, probably even to eat too. Supper could wait eventually because I did have some Korean barbecue with my family earlier in the day, and if you know a thing or two about Korean barbecue, you can actually order quite a bit for the price you pay, but you risk getting yourself a little filled up. The way I see it, you're paying a set price, so you may as well get as much meat, fish, and everything that you want. Ooh, someone must have forgot their bag. Ooh. But yeah, you can order as much as you want because you are going to be paying quite a bit. And if you went to a sit-down restaurant to pay for a plate, you're probably paying just as much, if not more. Anyways, this is a good way to just sit down, relax, enjoy a Saturday afternoon, and see where I'm going to go from here. And before we do continue our wander, I'm just going to give you one suggestion. Hit that like button below and put the notification bell on. Not the like button, hit that subscribe button. Because what's going to happen is if you put the notification bell on, any new videos I put up is going to get a pop-up on your phone that it's ready to view. The like button is just going to help promote my video over the rest of YouTube, so that's how you're going to be helping me. Precious sponge. I wonder if you could harvest this stuff out of a pineapple under the sea. Okay, I should stop before we get to some dangerous aged cheddar territory. Well, just when I thought I was going to be leaving, it looks like I'm getting a nice complimentary taste or something else. Like I was able to ask for if there's anything I wanted to have before I hit the road. So I have to appreciate the generosity because I'll admit the last time I came here, I did try to do a bit of recording and I was given a small taster glass with the label on it. So it's almost like a nice complimentary gift. In terms of what I wanted to get here, that was kind of my style. I got the Bingo Bongo Lotto, which is their India Pale Lager. It's kind of like my style. And if you've been following me for a while, you think, yeah, he likes India Pale Ales. What's the difference between an India Pale Lager and an India Pale Ale? Well, from what I've read quickly, the big difference is going to be in the bitterness of it. India Pale Lagers are going to have a lower IBU rating, or I guess the bitterness rating. So you're talking like 20 to 40. IPAs, or India Pale Ales, will usually be somewhere in the 50, 60 range, or they're going to be higher, a bit more bitter. The thing is that both these are going to be hoppy, but lagers, blondes, they're going to be a little less, shall we say, strong tasting. And we're going to do a little taste test for a little pilot project. And what this Bingo Bongo Lotto supposed to be? Don't know, but we'll find out. Yep. So it's a bit hoppier, slightly more bitter. I want to say there's a little bit more caramel in there. Okay, I don't see that in the description here, so I'll have to look that up a little bit further. But apparently this thing is fermented in the cold for about 10 weeks. Apparently that does a trick to it. But I guess when you look at the world of whiskey, or liquors where you ferment or distill it for a longer time to get a stronger flavor, maybe even a stronger alcohol content, it is a similar principle. Not bad for a first taste. It's been a while since I've had an India Pale Lager. Well, that was a very nice surprise. Didn't expect to get a nice other taster before I was ready to hit the road, so it is kind of awesome. Now, I'm at a fork in the road. I can either go eastward on Rachel and then see where I can head to, or I can keep myself westward and then head back to my usual stomping ground of Saint Laurent. Truth be told, if I was to go eastward, there's not too much I could think about that would be very interesting for me, unless I really want to go far into Angus. But what I do know is that I am kind of feeling a bit sleepy, and it's probably the effects of the Korean barbecue I had for lunch. So I probably need to get in a few more steps and find a coffee at the same time. Oop, Cafe Kawa's right here. I think I'm going to stop it and get myself an espresso. Ah, very nice. You know, Cafe Kawa was something I was actually kind of familiar with because there's actually one location that was already that I've already visited along Mont-Royal Avenue East. And from what I could see, it seemed like it's a Tunisian sandwich place and cafe because, you know, you can go get your usual Americano, lattes, etc. But some of the sandwiches are pretty nice. I want to say I had some kind of an egg and pork one the last time I was there, but I can't remember what it was called. I probably should have looked it up while I was over there. But it's pretty good, you know, because the thing about a lot of these coffee shops, I'd say outside the larger chains, of course, is most of them are going to be closing at 6 or 7 p.m., which is, you know, kind of early for a weekend. So if you want to be out and about, you want something to drink after having some drinks, one drink for another, good luck trying to find a coffee shop that's open pretty late. This one's one of them because both locations I know of are open until 10 p.m., so that's actually pretty awesome. And then another one I know of that's open late, probably until like close to midnight, is Cafe Olimpico. That one is also really cool and also very crowded at times. If you want to see me visiting the first Cafe Olimpico location in Mile End, click the top right corner because I did do a wander over there like last year. Hard to believe it's already been a year since I did that wander. But yeah, good stuff. I'm sorry, the passage of time is kind of getting to me, and I feel like that's going to be a running theme in my videos as time goes on. You know, now that I think back to that, even though I didn't explore this street very often, I do recall maybe coming around here a few times when I was doing my old record stores runs with my brother back in the older days. So I do remember some stuff, like maybe the Toyota dealer was around here, some of the shops going through La Fontaine Park. The cafes I wouldn't be able to tell you much about because things could have changed a lot in the last decade or two, as we've already seen. And there's actually some other nice restaurants I've seen, like a good Korean place. Funny enough, considering I did have Korean earlier today. I don't know. Maybe I should pay a visit again around the future because it's just like Rosemont. Every time I go to the same corner or go to new corners, I find something new to discover. Well, made my way onto Mont-Royal Avenue East. Having a debate now. Wonder if I should stick around here for a good drink or if I should continue north. Because what you probably didn't see is I've been actually hanging around the plateau a little bit the last 2 weekends. So I feel like maybe I should change things up just a little bit. Yep, I think I'll keep going north and see what I end up doing. I passed by some weird place that seemed to have Pabst Blue Ribbon on tap also. I think I said that in my previous episode, or at least one of my previous episodes, that kind of beer, it's not what you really find on tap very often. It's one of those, well, you know, college kids beer, cheap, skunky beer, but find it on tap, good luck. But it comes up from time to time. If you want to revisit that when I was talking about it, then just click a link on the top right corner, then you can revisit me going around Verdun once again. Plenty of cocktail bars around here too. Too bad I'm not a cocktail guy. Well, somehow I made my way onto Laurier Avenue East. I kind of alluded to the street a while back, like when I did one of my last Plaza Saint-Hubert videos saying that I could come along here to explore for some restaurants, a place to grab a drink. If you want to see that video again, then you can click on the top right corner because I did cover Cafe Americano, I covered Le Nestor, and Le Vestiaire. Yeah, this is not a street I explored too much of my time, and it was only like in the last years I came over around here and thought, hey, some of this stuff has a nice vibe. Maybe I could kind of explore, find something I could do to grab a drink, maybe grab some supper. Still kind of feeling the Korean barbecue, so I know that I'm going to need to walk in a few more steps. We'll see how much further I go until I make up a decision. Okay, there was actually one other thing that caught my attention around here, and that was the Brewery Saint-Denis that's over here, because I knew the location was on Masson Street, and eventually figured out the one that's on Saint-Denis Street, but didn't realize there was a third location here. Suppose if I come back here again, I feel like I need a coffee for the road, I could always come back. Okay, that's a very redundant sentence, isn't it? Me fail English? That's impossible. So, got my way onto Papineau Avenue, and it looks like that there wasn't much else that caught my attention, or maybe I just wasn't paying attention so much today. You know, maybe I'll dedicate a full episode around here, because on first inspection, it seemed like there's a couple of ice cream stores and a couple of cafes. I feel like this is a place to explore around summertime when the weather gets nice. So I'm going to have to add that to the list of places I'm going to check out between like May, June, July, August, and September, like when all the terraces are going to be installed. So I'm thinking I'm just going to go along Papineau North. If there's anything that comes along the way, great. If not, I am kind of close to Masson Street and not that far away from La Succursale, so I guess I could go to one of my old drinking holes in Rosemont. I don't think I've been there in a while, actually, so it might be worth paying a revisit. Excellent. So I had to make a stop at La Succursale once again, because if you've been following me for the last almost 3, maybe even 4 years actually, I have covered this spot countless times because I told you a lot of stories. Masson Street, come here with my grandmother to do her banking, going to Casa Corfu Buffet when that existed to go for birthday lunches, or just exploring around a bit in my older days, or at least my younger days I would say. I always have to come back here and look at it through the new eyes in my adult years these days with my taste of bars, restaurants, or whatever. Once again, this spot, this never would have existed around my grandmother's time, because craft beer, microbreweries, they would not have even been a thing. Like the closest thing I could think of was probably Belle Gueule in Quebec. Like that would have been one of the first ones, like the first legitimate independent beer. and over time they seem to have grown, and it was especially in the 2000s and onwards that a lot of them really started to build up. This one I had passed by on walks, but I had never thought to take a drink over here because this was back in the day when I was only going from downtown, old Montreal, because I was working in the downtown area all the time and just stuck to what I knew. But I've been exploring a lot, finding a lot of great things, and this happens to be one of them. And of course, because I'm over here, I had to get my usual one, the Angus IPA. Once again, it's appropriate because I'm actually north of the old Angus shop when Canadian Pacific Railroad had a presence over here. And for the family history, my dad was a railroader, which meant that it almost makes me think of him. Oh yeah, especially since it's the month of March. So it's a nice tribute to him, good beer, and probably a strong one because I looked at the menu and it looks like this one's 7.6%. I keep forgetting that this one is a strong fucker, but hey, when in Rome, or in this case, when in Rosemont. Delicious. Ooh, and I even got some Led Zeppelin playing right now. Takes me back to the very first time I came here, and I think they were playing a lot of Motown at that first visit, so it already left a really good impression on me. Gave me plenty of reason to come back here over time. One thing I'm thinking about is the last time I was here on camera, that was probably around the time I was doing that video on my whole history of my grandmother coming to Canada and then trying to figure out all the spots that she had lived around and me exploring to see also where my aunts and my mom lived. So I came here as a stopover, but I didn't really show off the new decor. Oh, by the way, if you do want to see an episode of my grandmother, just click the link on the top right corner. So one thing I didn't even highlight was just the change in the decor here, because when I was first coming here in the last few years, it was a lot of wooden countertops, wooden benches, and it was I think it was like a beige-like style, but in the last year they actually renovated it, changed the decor to have this blue walls and this countertop, which looks like it was just made out of some concrete. I could be wrong because it looks like it's kind of glazed, so I didn't even get to show that off. Oh well, I kind of like the classic look because the other one felt like it was an old school kind of bar. This one is also kind of nice. And there's some okay stuff on the menu too. When I was coming here in the past, I used to get the smoked meat on occasion. They still had some beef tartare, sausage sandwiches with some warmed up sauerkraut, which was new because I didn't realize you could warm up sauerkraut and store it in a jar. I was always used to having it kind of cold. I am going to have something to eat, but just a question of what I'm going to want to have, considering I did fill myself up with all that barbecue earlier in the day. I still got plenty of time to decide because I'm going to be slowly working this thing. Once again, 7.6%. You don't want to rush this. It's not like drinking Coors Light. Yeah, take that, Eric Idle. Kind of thinking that it's probably the weather that's affecting it because it's pretty quiet today at the bar. I've been here when it's a lot more lively in the past, so maybe if it was a bit clearer it would help out. But I'm also assuming that once it gets nicer and the terraces are all built, that they're going to get a lot more people here. But you know what? I am not going to let this deter me from having a good time. As you can see over here, I decided to do one of my usual things whenever I come to a microbrewery, a small taster platter. So since the last time I came here when I recorded a video, they got rid of the whole set taster platter where you can get 4 of them in a tray for a set price. You can actually order them individually in 5-ounce glasses, or galopin as they say here in French. So once again, it's a good way to try out several beers at once without getting too complicated or getting too shit-faced, or also committing to a beer it turns out you don't like at all. I've probably shown this before, but I feel like that the last time I've done tasters was in 2022 when I was doing my summer oldie series around Montreal. So, especially at Rosemont, because I feel like I documented Rosemont and this place a lot of times on that channel back in the day, and it will be a nice way to revisit some of my roots from back then. But if you want to see a visit at La Succursale, click on the top right corner. You can see me doing a taster platter. So what have we got over here? Well, first thing we have over here is Milacek. So Milacek is supposed to be like a very typical Czech style Pilsner. So your typical blonde from Czechoslovakia, Czech Republic actually. Czechoslovakia doesn't exist anymore. And it's a nice light 5%er, easy to drink. Wait, what am I doing? Gotta toast y'all properly. Yep, this tastes like a typical blonde. You kind of know what you're going to be getting yourself into. Then next one I'm going to do is Equinox. This is back into the IPA territory, but it's a session IPA. So sessions tend to be a lot lighter. Like you're talking 3-4% normally. They are going to be a bit more fruity with hops in it, but the idea with this is that you're having the IPA, but without the strength of a typical IPA. Because most of your regular IPAs are going to be around the 6% range. Oh yes, this tastes like a session. And I kind of find it funny that I'm hearing knocking on heaven's door as I'm drinking my Galopins. But nevertheless, I'm going to be going for the last one, which is the Mont-Rose. Just imagine you take Rosemont, reverse the words in order, and then you kind of get the gist of it. This one is supposed to be a sour beer with honeysuckle, or as they say on the menu, Camerise. It's not one that I really do often, unless I'm with certain friends, or if I'm doing a taster platter, but I want to show this one off, because it's actually a collaboration with the West Shepherd Pub, and as far as I can tell, if you're going to look in stores, it's the only one of the Succursale beers you can actually find canned, available in any grocery store, beer store, or whatever. So it's, gives it a little bit of notoriety. And at least it's also a lighter beer, so you're not going to be too shit-faced compared to doing a couple of those 7% fuckers. Yep, definitely a sour beer, but I would say it's also a summer beer. One of those that you'd be drinking if you're on the patio while doing a barbecue or just relaxing in the sun. Very simple. Potato chips. It's not like getting fries at another restaurant, but when you don't have a fryer, this is also going to get the job done. But it's also just the accompaniment for my actual meal, which is going to be the choripan. Yeah, it is a choripan, had to look it up. So essentially this is just a chorizo sausage that's kind of lightly spiced. And it looks like what they included was an aioli sauce, marinated onions, and a homemade chimichurri, I think. So I just want something that was kind of nice and filling, but somewhat light, all things considered, because I'm still digesting that Korean BBQ technically. Yeah, pretty good stuff. So the spice is there, but as I've said before, a good spice is going to be like a flavoring as opposed to spice that's so hot that you're basically burning your in-ears. Like, there's no enjoyment with that. This stuff is awesome. So if ever you come to this bar, you may as well get this because it's definitely going to be a filling one, and all around it's going to be pretty affordable. I'd recommend it with a good glass of beer. And I'm kind of enjoying this too because Queen just appeared on the playlist now. I'm telling you, there's plenty of classic rock that's being played right now, so I'm digging it. It feels like I'm at home, or it's like a home away from home. So that was a really good sausage. The one catch was, it turns out that was a lot more full than I anticipated because I wasn't able to finish all the chips, nor even the bread. So I thought, let's just do the chorizo so that doesn't go to waste, because that would have been the most expensive thing on the item. And I'm finishing off my last beer, finishing off the Session IPA Equinox. I was thinking maybe I could have finished off something else before hitting the road, but it is kind of quiet today. I think this is actually one of the few times that at 7 o'clock or close to 7, I'm alone in a bar. Usually by now it's pretty packed and lively. Not that I'm complaining, because as you've seen on some of my videos, I do go into some bars early in the day or when it's kind of quiet and I'm the only one there, or one of the few. Because I think of the Anthony Bourdain quote, have a cold pint in a mostly empty bar at 4 p.m. and, it kind of embodies what I tend to do. But truth be told, I'm not going to stick around and just drink for the sake of drinking. So, worst case, yeah, it's raining quite a bit, but I'm probably going to stick in a few more steps, maybe grab a second coffee on the way home, and just be able to digest a little bit too, and refresh myself. So, you know what? Honestly, not all things considered with the weather, the lack of the people in here, it's still a pretty good episode that was done, and I'm kind of happy that I got to record once again. So everyone, I'll just say thanks for watching this latest edition of the Wanayuki Cheese Cafe. So once more, if you like what you see, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button below. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoy my wanders, stories, my explorations around the city, discovering new bars. And if you have any ideas for future episodes, leave in the comment section and I'll see if I can do it one of these days. Till then, take care. See you next time. Very nice and light. Now, I'm going to have to weather the storm eventually.
Rainy day people always seem to know when it's time to call. Rainy day people don't talk, they just listen till they've heard it all. Rainy day lovers don't lie when they tell you they've been down like you. Rainy day people don't mind if you cry on a tear or two. If you get lonely, all you really need is that rainy day love. Rainy day people all know there's no sorrow they can rise above. Rainy day lovers don't love any others, that would not be kind. Rainy